Do you know what else has stripes on it? The prisoner uniforms in concentration camps. I was so scared. So I head into my office and all of a sudden I hear bang, 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 bang. And I thought to myself, this is the end of the day and I need to get to my hair appointment. So I run to the back of my office and then I hear, where is she? Where is she? And in that moment, I was thinking, you have a lot of thoughts. You have a lot of thoughts. But I thought to myself, this is it. Ben Shapiro is here to collect all my shoes and sell them on his podcast. I hate that podcast. It has too many ads.
Ben Shapiro, I swear, can Ben Shapiro leave Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez alone, please? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of crazy, really exciting news to get into today, especially with the huge move made by Elon Musk, which is going to have some major ramifications. And we're also going to get into how now 2 countries are dropping an experimental medicine that now the Biden administration is planning on spending $1 billion on promoting. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Also, before we begin, the clip that we started this video off of is just a short excerpt from What's Her Face. No, I'm not saying What's Her Face. The username that we played a small clip from is literally called What's Her Face. We put her full video in the description below if you, of course, want to see the full video. Now, in related fake outrage, egotistical, self-censored nonsense news, we have a lot of people who are butthurt at Tom Brady. Allegedly, there was some kind of big sports ball thing yesterday. Sorry, I haven't been following it. I hope the team you were rooting for got the most amount of balls in some kind of basket. But one of the reasons people are mad at Tom Brady is, of course, that he wasn't wearing a mask, which a lot of people were upset about, while others were like, who cares? Who gives a damn? Now, of course, this is not the only outrage against Tom Brady, as even USA Today ran a previous opinion piece about him, highlighting how he got a, quote, undeserved pass for his support of Donald Trump, and then blamed it on the color of the skin that he was born with saying, quote, how mighty white of him. Yes, thank you, USA Today, for this investigative journalism that's so critically important towards healing this country and making us better, while chastising and pointing out the skin color of someone for your political purposes. And also because we don't have enough politics in our everyday lives, Jill and Joe Biden decided to address the big sports ball event with, of course, a message telling people to wear masks and calling for a moment of silence for all of those lost during the sickness last year. And according to many reports, he got booed. Yes, the President of the United States, who received more votes than any other president in the history of the United States, was booed by close to 7,500 health workers and first responders who got the conholio sickness jab. Yes, the people who were allowed to be at the Super Bowl were cardboard cutouts of Billy and 7,500 healthcare workers who got the rushed experimental jab for the conholio sickness. And if you're personally looking for a oh boy moment, definitely go check out the official White House YouTube page to just, get another perspective to how popular the U.S. president is. So yeah, nothing to question there at all. And before we move on to the major stories, we wanted to remind you that this is a viewer-funded independent media organization, because we got fully demonetized, that only exists mainly because of you checking out and supporting the companies that we trust and personally work with. One of them is Emb Foods. They have great coffee. They have amazing cacao that I personally love and use. If you're looking for green powder juice, a whole bunch of interesting mushrooms, reishi chaga, you name it, you could get it now on Emb Foods by specifically clicking the link in the description below. I like this hippie company. I think you will too. Check out what they got, since of course your purchases on the store also go towards supporting this independent media outlet. So yeah, check them out. The link is down below. Now, a lot of people today woke up to find out that Bitcoin has just hit a new all all-time high after finding out some exciting news around Elon Musk that raised Bitcoin to $43,000 in the making of this video. Just last year alone, Bitcoin was just $5,000, and now it is nearly $45,000, with it fluctuating, with even Dogecoin going up 30% as well. Major shocking news that, of course, individuals like Peter Schiff have never seen coming, and now has many people online figuratively holding a moment of silence for him. Now, of course, we have to understand this latest increase of value of cryptocurrencies happened predominantly because of Elon Musk. But also, this rise from just it being 5,000 a year ago predominantly happened because of absolutely wasteful spending from government that is recklessly spending money that, of course, they don't have. This, as Congress just passed a $1.9 trillion conholio sickness relief plan. Yes, majority of that money will be going towards bailing out states that have also spent money recklessly without any recourse or understanding of a balance book. Another portion of this bill is going to be giving people $1,400, since of course Joe Biden promised $2,000 to the American people. But since Donald Trump gave them 600 plus the now 1,400 that Biden's going to be giving you adds up to 2,000. I love being nickeled and dimed by a government that spends absolutely reckless, crazy amounts of money on the military-industrial complex that essentially creates a new form of corporate welfare that if people knew about would be absolutely shocked and flabbergasted to the extent of their money going towards bombing people or planning to bomb people in the future. So yeah, big corporations in the United States, unlimited welfare, unlimited tax cuts, they get all the helps and benefits that they want. You, well, we're going to nickel and dime you on that $2,000, which again is just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, we have to understand here, because the government keeps printing money willy-nilly, with the U.S. debt clock now running to over 27, going on $28 trillion, soon being increased by $1.9 trillion, this is the biggest economic bubbles of all time in recorded human history. And because of this massive money printing, massive economic financial bubbles that could pop at any moment, I think it's one of the reasons why people are looking at alternatives that we've been talking about for a very long time on this independent media channel, almost 10 years when specifically talking about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. But in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why we are seeing such an increase of value when it comes to silver, gold, alternatives to the dollars, and now cryptocurrencies. Now, of course, Tesla investing $1.5 billion in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which people found out about today, obviously had a huge implication and impact on the market. This, as of course an annual report was just filed with the SEC that shows that Tesla investigated $1.5 billion in Bitcoin and may acquire and hold digital assets, quote, from time to time or long term. Now, this, of course, wasn't just the only big implication here, as, of course, it's also announced that Tesla will soon also start accepting Bitcoin for payments for Teslas, their trademark electronic vehicles. Now, when one of the world's richest men with one of the biggest companies in the world both publicly announced that they're getting into Bitcoin and starting to accept Bitcoin, I think it's only going to be a matter of time until other companies start following suit, especially with, of course, the U.S. Federal Reserve money printing machine going burr all the time, which, of course, individuals like Elon Musk understand, as they have instituted a, quote, policy that is going to be investing in alternative reserve assets, including digital assets, gold bullion, gold exchange traded funds, and other assets, which of course are a safekeeping against the US dollar. This is also a perfect time to remind you that we also take cryptocurrency as a form of donation to this independent media organization that was talking about cryptocurrencies for close to over 10 years now, with individuals like Max Kaiser on this independent media channel. So yeah, your support is of course greatly appreciated. But of course, just like we've been telling you from the very beginning, that you should be skeptical of everything and that Bitcoin just represents a new technology that could be something that could be amazing and incredible for humanity, or could also enslave it and control it. It's a double-edged sword, just like we've been saying. And we have to also point out that Elon Musk is an individual that gets a lot of government contracts and puts implants in monkeys' heads in order for them to play video games. As of course, he has another company called Neuralink that is planning on implanting people's brains with microchips. So yeah, it's okay to have a little bit of trust issues here. But on the other hand, let's point out the facts that Elon Musk is tweeting a lot of important information that is usually typically hidden by the establishment. In April of last year, he even responded to a video by Project Veritas about how most deaths from the conholio sickness were labeled as such, whether they had or didn't have a test proving it. He, of course, is also a public advocate against the lockdowns, which has made billionaires richer than ever before. And it's very interesting seeing him, out of all people, criticize that when, of course, it's been documented, it's been proven, the restrictions, the shutdowns, the lockdowns, the shutting down of small and independent businesses has absolutely hurt Middle America and enriched Silicon Valley to wealth that they have never seen before. So on that front, in my opinion, Elon Musk has been sending out important messaging that is imperative with dealing with the current situation on our hand. Also, there's a lot of news reports, whether from the New York Post, the Daily Mail, Business Insider, the Jerusalem Post, highlighting how a lot of people are either having very adverse effects or dying from the rushed experimental jabs that were made for the conholio sickness. As this is happening, it's also important to note that Reuters is reporting that India, by the way, that has been doing really well comparatively to their situation, compared to, of course, other Western countries. They have been dealing really well with the conholio sickness, unlike many other countries, but they, as a country, recently asked Pfizer to do a trial run studying the safety and effectiveness of the latest Pfizer conholio sickness jab. Pfizer refused and will not be sold or used in the country of India. India, also, it's important to note here, has been using other medicines that we can't even mention here on this independent media organization, because if we do, this video will be taken down immediately. But India, after using these specific medicines that we're not allowed to talk about, has dealt with the sickness a lot better than other countries, which, by the way, me and Dr. Chris Martinson talked about extensively. This video is up on our Patreon channel, since of course we can't talk about it here. But this is major news from Reuters, which should be picked up, as of course it's not the only country to turn down this rushed experimental jab, as of course South Africa also just announced that it is putting the AstraZeneca jab on hold after doing their own independent trial run, which according to them showed data that it, quote, gave minimal protection against mild to moderate infections caused by their own particular strain of the conholio sickness. This, of course, also reported by Reuters. As we've pointed out from the very beginning, and now people are picking up on, if there's a mutation, there's a possibility that all these jabs will be absolutely pointless. Now, of course, this is major important news that should have some implications that there should be a larger scientific discussion about, but no, Joe Biden is deciding, even though other countries have complications, even though other countries are having problems, that it doesn't matter. And he has announced that he is going to be launching a $1 billion conholio sickness awareness campaign that, of course, will be doing the larger PR marketing for these big pharma industrial complex companies that are exempt from any liability if anything happens to a person that takes their rushed experimental jab. So not only are they immune from liability, they also have the U.S. government as their major proponent and PR team that's going to be promoting them. Now, the bigger factor here that's very important to note and to also talk about that we're not seeing a lot of coverage of is that also, surprisingly, cases and deaths surrounding this sickness have been dramatically going down. A few weeks ago, it was 44% decrease. A couple days ago, it was over 50. Now the numbers keep going down, not just in the United States, but also specifically in hotspots like South Africa, where we're seeing the cases also go dramatically down, along, of course, with their deaths that are continuing to go down as well. And they're continuing to go down as, of course, cases, hospitalizations, specifically in the United States, are on the decline. California is seeing fewer new deaths in a month, and this is some optimistic news that could potentially be very good for everyone and deserves a lot more coverage. But the mainstream media, we're actually seeing the total opposite of that, as CNN just launched an opinion piece talking about how this pandemic won't be over until 2024 because of the different variants and the different strains. Now, their scenario could potentially be true. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's important to point out that it's absolutely negative, and they're forgetting that the cases are going down extremely, and it's important not to always be a negative Nancy here. Again, I think people are just exacerbated by the constant fear-mongering and the constant negativity. I mean, look, the worrisome breakdown of what's happening. Again, when you focus on negative things will appear and happen in your life. It looks like there's a downswing. We should be talking about that more. Also, we're getting news that there won't be a jab passport in the United Kingdom. Also, some good news to celebrate. And let's stop being sorry Susies. Whatever happens in life happens. You sooner or later have to accept the fact that we are temporary beings. The sooner you do that, the sooner you're okay with yourself, the sooner you start actually living your life and doing what you actually want to do, creating a purpose for yourself, creating a reality for yourself that helps and serves other people on this face of the earth in this little minuscule piece of time that we have here sharing with each other. Might as well realize, hey, things aren't all that bad as people try to make them out to be. And the people who usually do usually benefit off of you being a deadbeat Debbie. Sorry, I just couldn't help myself with all these names here. Things could be a lot worse. Appreciate what you have. And if you appreciated this video and what I do and what I've been doing here for over 15 years, get that mouse, double click the link, send it to a random person right now. Let's just pick your email. Go through your email. I don't care if you're getting emails from customer support. Randomly scroll, click on it, respond to the person you're talking to through customer support. Be like, hey, I thought you should see this. Let me know what response you get down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.